Beneath the hazy orange clouds of Saturn's moon, Titan lies one of the greatest mysteries of the solar system. There is a world out there that is very similar to our own. It is strangely familiar, but at the same time it is alien and unexpected. So of course the only way to know for sure what is really going on out there is to land on the moon and investigate for ourselves. This is what NASA will do with their upcoming Dragonfly mission. A nuclear-powered helicopter that will fly over Titan and search for alien life. What we do know about Titan is pretty amazing. It is the only moon in the solar system with an atmosphere, and it is a thick atmosphere, 4 times the density of Earth. And like on Earth, most of Titan's atmosphere is made of nitrogen, but very unlike Earth, where we have a mix of breathable oxygen. Titan's atmosphere is mixed with methane, better known as natural gas. And that thick atmosphere actually creates a reverse greenhouse effect that blocks what little heat from the sun can actually reach that far. So as we move deeper into the surface, that methane gets colder and colder until it melts and falls like raindrops on a frozen surface. The result is rivers that freeze as hard as granite. The result is flowing lakes and seas of methane that flow across the surface. Titan makes it the only known world other than Earth that still has an active hydrological cycle and stable liquids on its surface. Also like Earth, Titan has a variety of environments. Besides rocky sandy beaches, there are vast deserts along the moon's equator, with long sand dunes formed by the blowing winds. Only this is not sand, it is granular organic material that also falls from the sky and settles on frozen ice rocks. We have no definitive answer as to what this material is or where it came from, or if it could potentially support some signs of life given the right circumstances. And speaking of life, Titan has a lot of water. There is a liquid water ocean beneath the surface mixed with lots of salts that keep it from freezing, and occasionally water will erupt onto the surface like mushy lava from a volcano. Also, there are very few impact craters left on Titan, meaning the moon's surface is in a constant state of change and renewal, just like Earth. So when we put all of this together, water, nitrogen, carbon, and organic molecules, we get all the right ingredients for life as we know it. Only the environment on Titan suggests that life is unlikely to exist here, not as we know it at least. But we also accept that there is still a lot about the universe and the nature of life that we don't know, so we hope our trip to Titan will provide new answers. Now this is not the first time we have visited Saturn's remote moon. Everything we thought we knew about Titan came from the Cassini probe, which was launched to Saturn and studied the planetary system from orbit for years. But Cassini also brought with it a very special bonus payload, a lander named Haggens, named after the Dutch astronomer who first discovered Titan in the night sky. Because of the thick haze that surrounds the entire moon, it is impossible to study Titan from a distance. We have to get up close and personal. Cassini dropped Haggens on Titan, and the lander began to fall into the atmosphere, which is not only very thick but also very high. We used to think Titan was much bigger than it really is, hence the name, because in English it is bloated because of so much atmosphere. And after deploying his parachute, Haggens spent 2.5 hours floating towards Titan's surface. He was able to capture these images after finally breaking through the thick haze and coming in for a landing. Remember, these are photos taken with a digital camera from the middle and transmitted live to Earth over 1 billion kilometers away using the Cassini probe as a relay. So unfortunately the quality is not fantastic, but we can see the cliffs of icy rock that have been cut by flowing rivers and rivers of liquid methane. Haggens landed on the soft sandy bottom of a dried-up riverbed. The last thing that he saw before he died was that these rocks were smooth and rounded from erosion like river rocks on Earth. Only these weren't rocks, they were solid ice. So of course we have to go back to the surface of Titan to find out more, and this is why NASA has developed their Dragonfly Rover. Unlike any rover we have ever seen before, this one has more in common with a modern quadcopter drone. The only other space location where we have actually flown something is Mars, which has 38% gravity. Able to complete flight missions on Mars for years of operation. During that time NASA was able to learn a lot about flying drones from millions of miles away, and they are currently transferring all that knowledge to the Dragonfly project. Only this time they are going to be much bigger, and bigger drones require bigger power sources. While Ingenuity is able to get its power from small solar panels, Dragonfly will be too far from the sun and protected under too much cloud cover. So to explore Titan, NASA will have to go nuclear, which is the same power source they have been using for the Mars rover since Curiosity came back. This is not a nuclear reactor like you might see in a power plant. Space rovers use a radioisotope thermoelectric generator, which is basically just a piece of radioactive plutonium that produces heat as it decays, and the generator converts that heat into electricity. Dragonfly is just over a meter long and weighs about 450 kilograms on Earth. But because of Titan's relatively small size, the gravity there will only be 14% as strong as it is, very close to the gravity of Earth's moon. And when you combine that low gravity with the thick atmosphere, that makes flying on Titan a very easy and efficient way to get around. Dragonfly is also an octocopter with 8 blades propellers, each a little over 1 meter in diameter. This design allows for a degree of engine redundancy. It doesn't actually require 2 propellers at each corner to fly, but it does mean that if one fails, the mission won't be aborted. And that's important because this is a very long and expensive endeavor for NASA. Dragonfly has been in the works ever since, and it's actually an evolution of an old plan that would send a balloon to hover over Titan, like most complex space missions.